And this morning when I took my walk, my back, I had a week where I was back to normal, and then all of a sudden it's all back, and it's like, okay, I'm missing something here. And as I was walking, I thought, okay, I'm just going to I've got all this beautiful Christ light within me, I'm going to make a cauldron right across my back, and it hit me. I've got this cauldron of concentrated light that I keep all these people in, so they get saturated with the light because I love them so much. And it's like, let go of all these people. What's wrong with you? It's okay to bless people and hold them in the light, but you don't get to put them in a cauldron and saturate them with light so they find their way, which you don't think they're on their right way. Isn't that flippin' amazing?
Yeah, and you got to put yourself in the fucking cauldron.
Well, yeah, but isn't it funny that you can think you're doing good and you're really still controlling?
Absolutely, that's all ego.
Yeah.
It's so hard. It is so hard. I try, my mantra this morning before I got out of bed was, release me from my ego.
Yes, I'm copying that.
Sure. Release me from ego and attachment, kind of, they go hand in hand for me. So yeah. I don't want to be attached.
Well, and living in unconditional love is detachment. It's love with detachment.
Right.
To where you can love someone so deeply that you actually honor their path.
Right. And let them go.
Yeah. Instead of wanting to make it all good for them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, we have got fires everywhere. My grandson sent me a picture of the sun in Grand Junction, where we lived all those years. And I'll have to forward that to you because it's just, you can see just a brown haze and this sun all day long. Fire nados. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
No, what is that?
Well, it's in California. It's where the fires go up into a cumulus cloud or something and create a tornado.
Oh my God. Really?
Yeah. And evidently Iowa is in distraught because of tornadoes.
Huh.
I mean, this is just amazing what's going on. Just amazing, and it's everywhere.
Did you listen to Blossom Goodchild's latest?
Yes, and what I liked about it? I'm getting tired of everything coming in little dribbles, I'm okay with I'm okay with let's slam it and get it done.
Yeah.
Did you get that part of it? I just enjoyed that part of it where they said it's probably going to come in kind of like a big hit, a bigger hit.
It's, but it almost feels like it's the same message every time ultimately. And it's like, I'm getting a little tired of, you're not going to know what hit you. Even those of you that are light workers and are, realize something, all this has changed, you're going to be blown away. But they say that all the time. And I'm like, oh, for the love of God.
I know. Me too. I hear you because I want to know. And can you imagine how frustrating it is for anyone putting out these messages that are supposedly to help us validate that we are on the right path,
right,
and not being able to say shit.
Well, she gets close. She's frustrated. You can tell.
I know.
Because at the end, she's like, "Well, thank you, Bob," and she was like, "Enough already," I know she's frustrated too. So, yeah.
So,
and I've been really the last 2 days. I was really irritated yesterday. Part of that was because I had way too much to do, which was hardly anything, but it wasn't like what I had scheduled to do, because I work from home. Christine's like, oh, well, we'll have this delivered and we'll do this. And I'm like, all right, all right. But, then I actually had clients scheduled in the afternoon, but everything like was going to come to a peak at noon, like I had like a client that started at noon and two service providers at noon. I'm like, really? I've got all these days and time, but everything, it's like this perfect storm. And I chose to be irritated. And, but it all worked out fine. Everything kind of lined up the way it needed to and that. But I got to tell you, by the end of the night, I was kind of like, as I was going to bed, I'm like, what the hell am I doing? I felt that this is absurd what I'm doing, like this light work, and thinking that, this is my job now, that I'm going to see people and help them find their inner peace and their inner truth. And I'm like, I'm full of shit. I was so discouraged last night, and I woke up this morning and it still was lingering. I pushed through it. And I gotta tell you, JoAnn, that's when I get that brain fog where it's incredibly difficult to do just my Ho'oponopono mantra. I can't keep my mind focused. I can't, I was I was bringing my guides in this morning as I always do, and I couldn't remember their names. I'm like, really? I do this every day, several times a day. And there's only 5 of them that I call in by name. And I
Wow.
couldn't, I was like, and I would get 1 or 2, and then I would drift into some weird thing I don't need to be worrying about or thinking about. And and then I became very aware of that, and it's awful, and
I
then I
know.
go into this spiral of, well, the weather changed, so so maybe it's my sinuses, or maybe I have a cold, or because I have a headache this morning, and and then I kind of obsess about that. Am I getting sick? And and that's all that I don't know, that 3-dimensional dense crap that distracts us from who we really are. But it's,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, it's really strong. And then I think about, um, I have some family and some friends that are what they would say born again Christian. And, they talk about how the devil fights for you, and tempts you, and this like pressure that the devil puts on you. And I'm thinking, I wonder if that's how they feel, like this counterproductive. I don't know what it is. I don't believe in the devil, so I'm not saying that's what that is, but it's just, it hasn't been this bad in a while for me.
And I know exactly what you're talking about. I go through it to where I can't even focus long enough to remember that I was trying to focus.
Right.
You know?
Oh my
Yeah.
God, I'm so glad you said that.
Oh my God. It is so, and it's like, what's going on here? This is, but I think the stronger we get, the more it scares our ego.
Yeah,
Because the ego
yeah.
is so sure that it knows the right way for us.
Right. And I yeah, and I totally believe that. I believe that the ego or the mind is, it thinks it's protecting us because it's keeping us in what's familiar, and that's safe, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, and don't even get me going about my dreams. I mean, talk about fuck nutty. I mean, my dreams are,
Oh God, I love that word.
oh God, they are not right. I mean, I told you that one time about why I'm not eating meat anymore. We won't even go there today, but they're just I know there's so much churning, and my unconscious is like, I do oracle cards just about every day. Some days I'm doing it all afternoon. I'm working with oracle cards, and for me, that's what brings up, in the waking hours, that's what brings up the unconscious parts, right? And at night, it's
Right.
dreams that bring it up, but it's like they can't get enough airtime.
Yeah. There you go. There you
And then
go.
I wake up and I'm in such a fog in trying to get into this waking world. It's interesting because I love that whole concept of when we're dreaming, that's really reality. That's more of the truth. And this is the illusion. This is more like the dream we're in right now. Um, I like playing with that because that seems like that's where the work is getting done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ay,
And and I know you've read the book The Four Agreements, or at least you have the deck or something.
yeah.
Well, there's a book he wrote called The Five Agreements. Have you read?
No,
Okay, anyway, it's another, just another way of being, of having it explained, just like you
right,
were explaining it
right.
just now.
Yeah.
But then I pulled the card yesterday of our wisdom deck. Time to go. Yeah. Well, first I thought, well, I don't think I'm dying, but if I am, that's
Oh,
okay too.
jeez, Joy.
Uh, it was just
Cool.
a puzzle, but at least I was open to whatever it was. I didn't know what it was. And I guess after all the lectures I got from my higher self, I kind of let it go and thought, okay, so fair warning.
Well, did you have a question or?
Nope, I just said, what do I need to know right this minute? What is it I need to know?
Well, there's something you're holding on to that you need to let go of, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this morning, I hope I did some of that.
Okay. And you talked about that cauldron of people. Okay. Gotcha.
Right.
It's time to,
Right.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we're on the same track, right?
Yeah,
There,
we always are. We always are. And I'm
Well,
sure
yeah,
more than just the two of us. You know, I've been recording for a while now. So,
you
did you?
have.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, aren't you just a little tricky lady?
Well, you were giving me some good stuff, girl. So that's okay. I'll take names out. I'll bleep the names out. Um, oh, you froze the
Oh,
screen.
yeah.
You froze the screen. Um, but that makes me think I want to pull from the hidden wisdom of the hidden realms. Do you have this one?
I do, but it's packed in my storage, I think.
Yeah, this is my no bullshit deck, right? Colette Baron Reed does a lot of decks, and most of them are pretty, you know, easy to digest, if you will. Um, like Time to Go in the wisdom of the oracle is probably the most direct card. They're usually,
Yeah.
oh, this or that, or this and that. But the hidden realms, man, this is like, okay, this is like, this is what's going on. What is the hidden influence that we need to know about for our highest good?
Good question.
And what I'm thinking is that hidden influence that we're not aware of, but that's, you know, impacting all of our lives somehow. What do we need to know about that hidden influence?
Good question. Now, I don't want an answer that says, be still and just listen.
And I pulled those cards for like a year. And I was so pissy about it. So I pulled the Eagle King.
Wow.
The big picture, angelic help. Now I did pull it in the reverse position.
Okay.
So I'm going to go ahead and read. And again, that's just extra medicine. It doesn't mean anything horrible, but this deck in particular is straight to the point. So
well, Eagle's always been a big deal in my life. So
she calls this the challenger position when it's reversed in this deck. The Eagle King challenges you to see a higher purpose to the events. Not everything is meant to come to pass according to your specifications. If you can't see the forest for the trees, stand back for a while and let the Eagle King fly high on your behalf. Perhaps it's time to speak to someone who has objectivity and an ability to see the bigger picture where you don't. Just remember that even when things don't go the way you expect, there's always a reason for the detour. Well, shit, that doesn't tell me much.
it tells me everything they've been telling me. Expect the unexpected,
Well, we already knew that. I wanted to know what the hidden one was.
Me too. I wanted to know the direct answer. Here's what's happening. So far be it from us to be any different than anybody else with knowing more or wanting the answers anymore,
Well, one of the things I do when I want more from the reading is I pulled that in reverse. I'm going to go ahead and read the upright.
Okay.
Sometimes that helps me to just settle into the reverse a little better and to understand it. So if we had pulled it upright, it says the Eagle King is a sign that your highest destiny is within reach. You're on the right path now, even if you can't see where you're going. The Eagle King soars high above the mountains and valleys of life and is able to see the big picture when you seem to be lost in a bit of fog. He makes a formidable ally as he takes your prayers up towards the sun and releases them to the divine. They will be answered for the highest good of all. It's a fortunate omen when the Eagle King decides to be your ally. So, wow.
That helps, doesn't it?
It really does. I mean, I talked about brain fog. And so I need to call on Eagle King, that energy of there's always a higher purpose. And I'm just it's like suction cup to my face right now, everything. I just feel like everything's like, right here and I can't see, and this is about just really stepping back like the eagle, flying high above, seeing that perspective.
We're wanting clarity and we're not getting it right now. And so, like, you're right. We need to step back and let something a little bigger than us, be it the eagle, whatever, take a look, and we need to be still.
And we want what we think clarity is. Again, that's our ego. We want
absolutely
what is tangible and knowable. That's clarity. But to us, to my ego, that's what clarity is. But that's not. Yeah.
We need to be open to what clarity actually is.
Yeah. Whew.
And when we are, we're stepping into who we actually are, because we don't actually know who we are right now either.
That's for sure.
Yeah. We don't give ourselves near the credit of who we are.
Well, I know. Go ahead.
I think we need to take a ride on an eagle.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know you don't feel like this has lasted long, but like I said, I've been recording for over 20 minutes now. So if you want to take us on a ride, this would be the time.
Okay, let's do that. Let's take a little ride. So get settled, take your deep breaths, and we're going to take a ride. Feel your heart. Feel your heart with your deepest breaths. When you breathe into every cell of your body. And then as your heart light pours out, the light of the Christ, filling you, filling an orb around you that you're in. And now we're prepared to look across the way and step onto the most beautiful bald eagle you ever saw. Huge. And just sitting there, oh my gosh, and on his wing, the feathers say the word peace. So we just simply float onto his back. And there's others joining us. I don't know where they're coming from, but they're joining us. And we are thrilled.
They're from your cauldron.
Oh my goodness. There you go. There you go.
Sorry.
There you go. So as we take off, oh my goodness. What a thrill. What a thrill. And we see many things. We see the smoke screen that is over the planet, a lot of the planet right now. We see the multicolored sunrises and sunsets that are caused by the different weather that's going on. We see the amazing rainbows that are going on around the world just because of the weather. We are seeing the other side of the fire. We're seeing a difference in some of this. We're seeing already through the fire, we see the green grass coming up where the fire has burned. But we're going to go higher. We're going to go higher because we're asking for clarity. And as you said, sometimes we think clarity is having everything be looked to everybody like it looks to you. And that is definitely ego. Clarity is seeing the true world that we want to manifest. Clarity is seeing a world of peace. I believe everyone wants everyone to be at peace. There is no competition. Everybody came here in sovereignty. That was a God-given gift that was taken away. But that's coming back. So as the eagle flies higher, it's almost like we're seeing a different earth being pulled off of the earth that we're looking at. You know, it even at one point it looks like the Vesica Pisces, and then it totally separates. And that's what we're looking down on now. And the lushness is just what you see in your travel brochures, if not better, of the islands and the blue water and the Greek water, the green, beautiful water of Greece. And oh my gosh, and the dolphin are leaping up, and it's almost like they're saying, welcome, welcome. This is what is truth. This is true clarity. This is life, if you so choose. And there's a calmness, but it's an active calmness. It's not a calmness where everything's just laying in wait for the next shoe to drop. This is a calmness of activity where people have the clarity of who they are and what they're doing. Oh, wow. Out of the eagle's eye. The eagle, brings us the messages from the other side, and we're literally getting to see the other side, the message, the new earth that we absolutely live on. We ascend with this new earth. This is clarity. This is peace. This is people walking their talk, doing their work, and being in total joy as they do it. Work is probably a word of the past because there's nothing, it's not work, it is living. And we have loads of time for swimming in the beautiful lakes and oceans and rivers, soaking in hot springs, natural hot springs. We have plenty of time for parties and dancing. But it's all peaceful movement. Peaceful, joy-filled movement. And as I sit up here where I can get service, and I'm around gas tanks, and earlier when we first started talking, hummingbirds came up. There is joy in our lives. That's what we're being shown. And so when we get so frustrated over wondering what's next, we need to be still and call in the eagle and ask for a ride. So the eagle lands. We float off her back. And we take another deep breath and seal this within our heart. And we are in joy. We are in joy now. It is done.
It is done. That felt really good.
That was a fun ride.
Two things that really hit me. I love that active calmness. Love that.
Yeah, I liked that when that came through.
And I really loved how when we got on the eagle, it was a he, and when we got off, it was a she.
That's interesting.
That is very interesting.
That's what this world is about.
Yep.
Coming together.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yep. Yeah, you said get on his back. We floated onto his back. And then when we came off, we gently floated off of her back, you said. So I'm like...
Yeah, and I remember getting off of her back.
Yeah, but it was him when we got
yeah,
off.
That's
so
very nice.
Interesting.
I like that.
All right, my friend. I will turn the recording off now.
Okay.
Namaste.
Namaste.